Welcome to this short video on infoExplorer. In essence, infoExplorer is a straightforward, no-frills interface which provides a really fast way to find or workflow approve documents held in infoRouter. infoExplorer is part of a range of utilities which enhance the core infoRouter document management software. All of the tools have a simple, intuitive interface which needs virtually no training. It really is document management made easy. The key features of infoExplorer are the searching for documents and the ability to view or download a local copy of a document. Rather than having to email a document to a colleague, we can just send a link. And we can also check the history of a document and finally workflow approve a document. Okay, so let's have a look at infoExplorer. First thing we're going to do is open a web browser, and we can use any standard web browser. In this case we're using Google Chrome, and we're actually on the Document Genetics demo site here. So if we click on the infoExplorer link, the first thing we need to do is to log on. Just to show you how we can apply different permissions depending on the user, if I log on first as just a search user, you'll notice I only have one tab at the top. So this user can really only do one thing, and that is search for documents using the standard metadata search. And you can see that user has access to really three key libraries: contract files, proof of delivery and invoices, and that's really all they can do. But we can give different permissions to different users. So if we log on as a slightly different user with slightly different permissions here, you can now see that we've got three tabs. They can browse through libraries, and we've also got some workflow tasks. So we'll cover each of these different tabs in turn. So firstly, these are the libraries we have access to, and we'll click on HR records here, and obviously this is the metadata that we can search on relating to HR records. So if we want to search for documents relating to the surname Hyde, we can search for those, and it brings back all of the documents that have the surname Hyde. You'll notice one of those relates to a different individual to the one I want, which is Joe, so we can actually filter as well if we want to on those results. So now we're just displaying Joe, and in this case I'm interested in the ID card. So first off, we can preview that. And within this we have a built-in viewer, so we can view all the standard file types: PDFs, TIFFs, Word, Excel, most of the standard file formats you'd expect to receive. And obviously we don't need the native application installed on our PC. We can download a copy of that if we have permission to do so. So that'll actually download a copy to my desktop, and we can actually look at the information relating to that document. So again, you can see the metadata here, and we can see any attachments. We can see the version that is. Now in this case it's a scanned document, there really is only one version, but if it was a Word document we may have a number of versions, but automatically the version we will see will be the latest published version. You can see if there's any workflow tasks, which there aren't in this case, and we can see a log of that document. So we can see it was published by the HR manager, and then we can see various people have looked at it and the dates and times that they've looked at that document. So if we have a quick look at the Browse tab, again these are the libraries that we have access to, and it's very much like Windows Explorer, but obviously this is a website and these are virtual folder structures, so we can't cut and paste or move them. And again, we can browse to the employee we're looking for, which is Joe Hyde in this case, and again we'll see the documents. So you've got a number of ways you can search for files. And lastly, tasks. So these are workflow tasks. These are actions that we've got to perform on documents. And you would actually get an email as well reminding you that one of these tasks needs actioning. And in this case, we can see one here called "Please approve or reject this invoice. Please add any comments." And we can pull the window across if we need to get a slightly bigger image on the screen here. And again, we can look at the properties of that document. And we can see the metadata here. We can add attachments if we need to, or we can see if there's any attachments in this case, and there aren't at this stage. We can see the version of the document again, we can see the tasks, and you can see this task has been assigned to me and it's waiting for me to do something. And again, we can view the log of that document. So in this case, what we're going to do is actually attach a delivery note as a sort of supporting document. So we can either browse to an existing file or upload a new one. So in this case, we're going to grab one from my desktop, which is a scanned document, and we're going to upload that. And now if we look at the properties and the attachments, you can see we've got a delivery note attached to that. And we're going to add some comments. And we're going to approve it. And you'll notice now that that'll disappear from my task list because I've approved it. And what we'll actually do, let's just search for that invoice. And here we go, we can see the invoice. And if we look at the properties of that, and we have a quick look in the tasks, you can see now we've got a log of what I did and when, basically. And obviously we can see the attachment, which is the delivery note attached. So that's basically infoExplorer. It's designed to be a really simple, intuitive interface for any member of staff to go in and quickly find the documents that are relevant to them in the business. And the idea is you really don't need any training. It's fairly self-explanatory, and within a couple of minutes any user in the business can be finding the documents that they need.